The jungle screamed. It was a raw, unending sound. Metal tore through ancient trees. Wood splintered, raining down like deadly hail. Smoke, thick and acrid, coiled through the undergrowth. It stung the eyes. It choked the lungs. The air itself felt heavy, laden with the scent of cordite and damp earth. This was no longer a place of life. It had become a charnel house, painted in shades of green and grey, punctuated by the lurid orange of distant fires that licked at the horizon, promising more destruction. Every rustle of leaves was a potential threat. A snapped twig could signal an enemy's approach, or perhaps just a dying branch finally giving way. The ground trembled with unseen concussions. Far-off booms echoed, a constant, brutal rhythm. Nearer, the sharper crack of rifle fire punctuated the chaos. Each sound was a note in a symphony of devastation. Visibility was poor. Patches of sunlight struggled to pierce the thick canopy, now tattered and torn, creating an eerie, shifting light that played tricks on the eyes. The very air vibrated with menace. Leaves, ripped from their branches by unseen forces, danced in the turbulent currents. They swirled like green confetti at a monstrous parade. Debris littered the forest floor. Shattered remnants of equipment lay half buried in the mud. Twisted pieces of what might have once been vehicles. The scent of fear was palpable, mingling with the metallic tang of blood and the dampness of the rainforest. This was a place where survival was measured in heartbeats. The heat was oppressive, a suffocating blanket. Sweat trickled down every soldier's brow, stinging their eyes. Uniforms clung heavy and damp. Thirst was a constant companion, a rasping demand in the back of the throat. But there was no time for water, no time for rest, only the relentless, driving need to stay alive, to fight, to endure the maelstrom that had consumed this once tranquil part of the world, turning it into a brutal stage for conflict. Above the shattered canopy, a different kind of predator circled. Captain Eva Rostova gripped the mounted machine gun. The helicopter vibrated around her, a fierce, mechanical beast. Wind whipped through the open doorway, snatching at her hair. Below, the jungle was a sea of green, a deceptive, tangled mass. But Eva's eyes were sharp. She scanned for movement, for any sign of the enemy hidden within that verdant chaos. Her mission was clear: seek and destroy, deny them sanctuary. The roar of the rotors was deafening. It drowned out the distant battle sounds from her elevated perch. It was her world now, this vibrating machine, this gun, this endless green expanse below. Her gloved hands were steady on the weapon's grips. Her gaze, cold and focused, swept back and forth. She was a hawk searching for its prey. The sun glinted off the helicopter's perspex, a fleeting flash of light in the smoky air. She adjusted her headset, listening for commands but mostly relying on her instincts. A flicker of movement. There, near a cluster of fallen trees. Her training kicked in. No hesitation. She squeezed the trigger. The machine gun bucked against her shoulder. Muzzle flashes lit the dim interior of the chopper. Spent casings clattered to the metal floor. Below, she saw puffs of dirt and foliage erupt where her bullets struck, a lethal rain from the sky. She tracked the movement, firing in controlled bursts. The enemy was down there, and she would find them. Her face was a mask of concentration, jaw set, eyes narrowed. There was no room for emotion, only the task at hand. The wind pulled at her, trying to steal her focus, but she was anchored by duty, anchored by the cold steel of her weapon. The helicopter banked, giving her a new angle. A wider field of fire. The jungle unfurled beneath her, a deadly tapestry. She was the weaver of a particular kind of thread, a thread of fire and destruction from above. Sergeant Anya Sharma hugged the muddy earth. The ground shook, not from distant explosions this time. This was closer. The air throbbed with a rhythmic, terrifying beat. Whump, 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 helicopter. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She pressed herself flatter, seeking refuge behind a fallen, smouldering log. Debris rained down around her, dislodged by the rotor wash. The acrid smell of burnt wood and aviation fuel filled her nostrils, a new layer to the already pungent air of battle. She risked a glance upwards. Through a gap in the shredded leaves, she saw it. A dark, menacing shape against the bruised sky, circling, hunting. Its shadow swept across the jungle floor like a harbinger of doom. Anya gritted her teeth. Fear was a cold knot in her stomach, but fury was a fire in her veins. They would not break her. She would not be prey. She was a soldier, and she would fight back with everything she had. The helicopter's machine gun opened up. A torrent of fire ripped through the trees just meters away. Splinters flew. The air crackled. Anya flinched instinctively but held her ground. The sound was deafening, a monstrous tearing noise. She could feel the impact of the bullets vibrating through the log she used for cover. She was pinned down, but not defeated. Her mind raced, calculating, assessing, looking for an opportunity, any opportunity. She shifted, her movements small and precise. Her rifle was clutched tightly in her hands. Its familiar weight was a small comfort in this maelstrom. The helicopter was making another pass, closer this time. She could see the glint of the gunner in the doorway, a fleeting glimpse of a helmet, of focused intent. Anya took a deep breath, steadying her nerves. This was her chance, it had to be. She would not die cowering in the mud. Anya rose slightly from her cover. Just enough. She brought her rifle to her shoulder. The helicopter was a monstrous silhouette. She aimed, fired. A rapid burst. The crack of her rifle was sharp, defiant, almost lost in the roar of the chopper and its own guns. But it was there, a small voice screaming back at the thunder. She saw her tracer rounds arc towards the belly of the beast. Tiny sparks against a giant. Would they find their mark? From above, Ava saw the muzzle flashes, tiny pinpricks of light from the green hell. Return fire, unexpected, bold. She instinctively ducked lower behind her weapon, even as she swiveled it towards the source. The bullets from the ground whizzed past, dangerously close. She felt the rush of air. One struck the fuselage with a clang. This was no mere ground scatter, this was a targeted response, a challenge. Her grip tightened. The fight was personal now. Leaves, shredded by the crossfire, danced wildly in the air between them. Explosions of dirt and foliage erupted around Anya as Eva's gun raked the area. Anya dived, rolling, firing again from a new position, a deadly game of cat and mouse. One in the sky, one on the ground, each a formidable opponent, each driven by a fierce will to survive, to dominate. Their eyes, though unseen by the other directly, were locked in a battle of intent. The helicopter continued its menacing circle. Anya remained hidden but ready. The air crackled with unresolved tension. Flashes of gunfire illuminated the smoky gloom. The jungle held its breath, a silent witness to their brutal ballet. Neither would yield. Neither could afford to. The duel was not over. It was merely paused in the thundering chaos. A silent promise of continued conflict hung heavy in the war-torn air, a testament to their unyielding determination.